You're listening to Tuff City Radio, 99.5 CIMM in Ucluelet and 90.1 CHMZ in Tofino, West Coast Radio. That's a true story, everybody. Every week, or at least maybe once a month, we do What's Brewing in the Biosphere, and today my guests are Brooke Wood, who's the manager of community initiatives, and so much more, as well as Jason Sam, the program coordinator. Hello, you two.
Good morning, Cam.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here on a blustery day. But it's nice and cozy in here, right?
It's really warm and cozy, and I got my walk-in, so I'm feeling great.
I see you walking a lot.
Rain or shine.
You have to be brave.
Yeah.
Do you have a dog involved in this situation?
There's a dog. There's no choice.
My dog, sometimes I get a little bit of like, oh, the dog. But then when I'm out there walking, I'm like, thanks, dog.
Yeah.
This is helpful. All right. There's quite a bit to talk about today. Here, let's put that a little closer. So
Okay.
you can actually just sit there and enjoy, and you don't have to keep moving your body. So let's start with you, Brooke. Let's just get into it.
Let's get into it.
There's a ton of stuff. Where do you want to even start?
Oh, where do we start? Well, why don't I first, I think Kim very thankfully gave an update to the community last week on the very successful 100 Women Who Care event.
Yes.
So the winner was Pacific Rim Hospice, and they won $12,900.
Wow.
So we sold 129 tickets.
That's a big deal.
It's exceptional. It's a lot of money. It's going to make a huge difference in our community. I think Tarni had said the program would be targeted to youth in grief. So it sounds pretty amazing.
Well, without getting specifically into it, there have been many losses and big losses in the community this week.
There has.
It really couldn't go to a better organization because they really do help a lot. And there's a lot of people that are going to need somewhere to go and people to lean on. And
yeah, and
so,
it's a fantastic program that hospice runs, and it works in both the elementary schools as well as the high schools.
So how was the actual night?
Wow. It was exceptional. I felt like a nightclub bouncer. I had 129 women showing up. There was actually a lineup out the door for 40 minutes. So that's a big learning. People were there. People were excited. There was a huge buzz. I think it's definitely something we need to do twice a year. People want to be involved. It's the first time since COVID. And, it's great because people came on their own and maybe people that don't usually come out. And we had lots of subsidized tickets. And I felt like it was a good, well-rounded room full of energy.
Yeah, it was great. I heard it was great. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And when will you determine if you'll do another one, and how soon can it happen?
Well, I think built on the buzz off that, let's plan one for the fall. And as we said, this started with Carol Sedgwick reaching out, wanting to do the 100 Women That Care. So, if there's some men in the community, or youth, or the coastal queers, reach out. We can do this in a number of different ways, and we're willing to support anyone that wants to do this great work. Just reach out to us.
I think it's great, and you can always, of course, rely on us to help you and get that message out and be supportive. I know Kim is really leaning in. She does a show called The Red Door, and I don't know if you've heard it, but she's just interviewed some really powerful and amazing women, and that's a focus for her. So hopefully we'll keep
we'll keep in touch, and
coordinating.
Kim will be involved, and the next one will be in Tofino. We will alternate communities.
So how did it work that they got the money? So my understanding was a woman would come and they would say, I want to nominate this is my cause, and then they had to go and speak to it in front of all those people?
So I drew 3 names on the Friday before, and then so those 3 people that I chose, they nominated their charity, and just how the cookie crumbled. Not everyone is super keen on public speaking, so it ended up being that we reached out to the local organizations. So Tarni came and presented with Jennifer,
Right.
Chris Martin came and presented with Abby, and Lori Hanna presented with Michelle Hall. So it was actually great because it built them all up together, and the organizations came and helped. But it could go either way. If you love public speaking, it's a great opportunity and a really safe space.
You know that's rated as one of the biggest fears people have? It's like the dentist and public speaking are kind of like 2 of the highest things people are terrified of.
Yeah.
I'm lucky for me. I love it, but
Yeah. I'm good behind when there's no one looking. The radio is great.
Yeah, I get lots of practice, but I'm always by myself in a box.
Yeah.
But then when I go out, it works really well. What else is going on? What brings Jason here too? Can we mix it up a bit? Or
Yeah, let's mix it up. Why don't we go over to Jason and he could lead us off, maybe starting about our grants?
Oh, all right. Granting. Yes, it's granting season.
Yeah.
We're excited. We first thing we did is we increased our grants by 20% for our community-based grants. So you're eligible to apply for up to $6,000 now, and we increased each pot at $24,000. So for our community-based grants, we have $96,000, up from $80,000 last year.
Wow! And what kind of things are available for people if they're listening now and they don't really know what? What can they apply to do?
Ooh, I believe we have 8 funding streams open right now, and 9th one coming in March. So we have our annual youth and education, arts and culture, which are both programs that I coordinate. And then we have our biosphere, our research and environment, which is Colin's granting stream, and community development, which is Brooks.
Yeah. And then we also have the Nachalneth language grants, which are open right now as well.
That's a lot of generosity that's out there. How complex is it, or how hard is it to get a grant?
That is something we've been working on for a couple of years, to work with organizations to simplify the process. So I've worked with I've worked with organizations, and start to finish, from opening an application to submitting it, was under an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's great.
We really want to take away barriers. So we used to have an Excel spreadsheet as a budget, and not everybody can use Excel or has Excel on their computer. So we took that away and we simplified that process for sure.
And so if people are interested right now, and we'll bring this up a couple times during our conversation, how can they get a hold of the right either person or web page or?
Well, you can check all of the information on our website. And our grants page has all the information, our funding priorities, as well as links to connect directly to us. But for the basic one, it's grants@clayoquotbiosphere.org. And then that comes to me or Colin, and then we'll filter through and connect the people with the right people in the CBT.
Right. With the understanding that we all love all of our kids exactly the same, what are some of your favorite projects?
One big one last year was actually a vital grant, the Muthla Rising Tide Surf Camp. That was amazing. They had a lady from Hawaii come in and speak about the cultural importance of surfing in Hawaii, as well as how it was a predominant female sport.
Wow.
They learned how to shave down a piece of wood into more of a traditional longboard. It was super awesome.
That's really cool. They did that here?
Yeah, they did that through a partnership with Clayoquot. So they were right down in their education building. I got to go visit it. It was amazing weather. The kids were excited. They designed and painted with like charcoal for the board as well.
Wow.
So they were doing lots of different things.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a documentary about that. I'd like to see that all unfold.
Well, yeah, that one wasn't videoed, but Muthla Rising Tide Surf Camp, they did make it to Sportsnet, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So will it happen again, that specific thing?
I am not sure.
Okay. Do you find that if people come and they apply for a grant, do they often do annual applications for a similar project? Or is it usually one-offs and...
It's a mix.
It's a mix.
Definitely a mix, and it goes on their success and their ability year to year. One thing we are piloting is multi-year projects, so multi-year funding. So last year we funded one of our vital grants a second year. So we've simplified the application and the process. Now they don't have to apply this year. They have the funding, makes it easier for them. This year, our Youth and Education Committee is going to pilot another multi-year project as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's got to feel good when you see the success of your work and what you've done.
Yeah, one of the things what we're also trying to do is provide support beyond the check, which is like a core pillar of trust-based Philanthropy, sorry. And so we sent our youth intern out on the Muthla Rising Tide Surf Camp. We've visited projects. I've literally gone and shoveled gravel and cleared brush with youth, just to be there, see the project, and to be able to speak to it to my committees, which are community-based volunteers that actually make the decisions on the funding.
Right.
The CBT facilitate the process, and the community-based volunteers do the selection.
Wow.
And it's tough.
So those are some of the bigger ones. Are you still doing the neighborhood small grants?
Yeah, neighborhood small grants we've been doing since 2015, and they are aiming to open March 15th, so coming up. And this year, we're kind of looking at, the community needs and looking at the vital signs report and trying to earmark or target themed grants. So this year we're going to do green grants again, which we've done for several years. Specifically, I want you to start thinking about ideas. We're already close to a water shortage, so keeping those sort of climate things in mind, food security, and then we're also going to do some youth grants again this year too for neighborhood small grants. And something I want to highlight, which has been really exciting, is a House It has started their own program. I run the Island Network for Neighborhood Small Grants as well, so supported a House It in starting their program. And they are it's booming. 17 grants last cycle. Awesome, amazing grants.
Can we have some examples just so we can get excited?
Oh, yeah, let's get excited. Some of the House It grants. There was one where an elder went and harvested cranberries and gifted them out to other elders. There was some canning and jarring workshops. There was several that were in preparation for Tribal Journeys, which has since been postponed for 5 years.
That's the big canoe trip?
Yeah, the big canoe trip. So that was, there was a whole bunch of grants based around that, but I've kind of followed up with the project leaders and they're going to tweak it. So there was some hunting projects where they gathered some deer and some moich to support the community. There's several clam harvesting workshops. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, the queer club at the House at High School did Pride cupcakes. That was a really popular one.
Nice.
Everyone in the community. I think they made 1,000 cupcakes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And so you're really only limited by your imagination, right?
Yeah. Just go and you can make it work. If you've got an idea, reach out. Something I do want to say, we are visiting all the communities and doing grant writing workshops. So we are available to support you one-on-one. Also, I'm really a phone person. So please feel free to give me a call. I'd rather chat than email any day of the week. So
also, I know you guys are always open to people coming down and
I'm
saying
excited.
hi.
Excited to head to Heshquit on March 12th and chat with some people there. Always get lots of neighborhood small grants up there. So
great.
Yeah.
And so it starts on the 15th. And is there a deadline? Do you have to do it within a month or two?
April 30th it closes.
Okay.
I try and get the checks
So
out.
that's a month and a half.
Yeah, within 2 weeks. And
After the close?
After the close. That's my intention.
Yeah.
With our amazing partners, West Coast Community Resources Society. And then you have until December to do your project.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. Yes, get your kids thinking about it, Cameron.
I'm definitely going to, and I won't bother you about it now, but I have some ideas, but we'll talk about that when we're not there. I love sandcastles.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea.
It's the first annual was last year. The second one's coming up, and I'm already getting people to think about their designs. Yummer Wine Stop. So there I am. I make a sandcastle contest because I'm so excited and I love it. We do the first annual and in conjunction with the Pacific Rim Rotary Club, and I'm on the beach and I'm thinking, I'm going to win my own contest. I love sand. And I see Yelmer walking, just striding down the beach. And I'm like, I just lost my own contest.
Lost right away.
And he did win in the end. But he was he's just such a great artist. He made it so when the water came in that he had a whale and a full canoe. So please start thinking about it. It'll be Labor Day weekend, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to get it up to a qualifier like Parksville. So you have world-class people come and you get 1 ton of clean sand and it stays for a couple weeks. And
oh, so cool. I know nothing about this.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Second annual. Okay, enough about me. What else is going on? Let's just keep going because I know there's more stuff to talk about. There's the building. We could talk a little bit about what's going on with the building. Did you just get a big grant for the Biosphere building, the new?
We haven't heard anything.
You haven't heard anything
No,
yet?
we haven't heard anything. But, I would say there's good momentum for the project. There's tons of support. And I would say the project is moving forward in a really good, positive direction right now.
Well, Michelle did put it out there that for a particularly large donation that she would name her firstborn after whoever wins the contest, she would name the baby after that. That is an actual true story. Or you could go for a $10,000 walk with Michelle Hall on the beach.
Yeah, go for a walk on the beach. It's worth it. Come on.
I would say be careful, because if you go for a $10,000 walk with her, it'll turn into a $30,000 walk for you.
It'll go up for
She's
sure.
very good at what she does.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. All right. What else?
Ooh, our education awards.
Yes, there you go.
And lots of new changes across the board, across our education awards. We've increased the amount, but the exciting news is we've partnered with Pacific Rim Foundation to host their scholarship as well. So again, we're working on simplifying the process. So students used to have to apply to 2 different scholarships. Now they apply for 1 application for up to 3 scholarships. And they're eligible for 1 scholarship, though. So,
I don't know about that organization. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
yeah, Pacific Rim Foundation had the Dick Close Fund donation, and since they started it, I don't quote me on when they started, but it's been going on for at least a decade, where they give a $40,000 scholarship spread over 4 years to 1 student in the region. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's the most sought after scholarship.
That's life-changing, right?
Yeah, and we offer 2 scholarships, a Central Region New Channel Scholarship. So if you're from one of the 5 nations in the region, you are eligible to apply. If you are just graduated last year or are graduating this year. And we've noticed across the board, with our Clayoquot Biosphere Region Education Award, we've noticed that a lot of our youth are getting 2 of the same scholarships, which is great for them.
Yeah.
But we wanted to spread it out a little bit more to make sure that we can, empower more youth.
Right. That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the language grant for a minute? Okay, can you explain that a little bit? Because I would like to put it out there. If you listen to the radio, which I hope most folks out there are, like especially right now, you can hear Simca Martin, you can hear Giselle Martin, you can hear Grandma Grace, you can hear Tommy Curley. I would like to have a lot more New Chalmette language on the radio.
Yeah.
But I can't apply for that particular grant.
No, so this grant is really unique. So this grant was started and led by the Nuu-chah-nulth Language Committee, which has elders and knowledge keepers from all 5 Nuu-chah-nulth nations. And so Simca and I together worked with the committee and completely designed the grassroots granting program. So these grants, there are 5 per year currently, so that we have $10,000 in the pot, and it's 1 per nation. And so the committee was very specific about that because, although Heshquit has a smaller population than a Howzit, what we were told and what we were shared with is it costs a lot more money to do something up there.
Yeah.
To get materials up there, to do the travel. So the committee was very adamant about that. Last year was our first launch. And so we did award 5 to 5 different Nuu-chah-nulth members, and it was really successful. So we're open right now. We've only got 1 application. I find these applications tend to be one-on-one, and people want to talk through the project application. So you start by introducing yourself and your family, and they kind of call it a second stage language learner. So this isn't necessarily meant for a beginner's language. It's like the next step.
Right. Well, I would like to put it out there that if anybody's out there and they want to do something, but they're not sure what to do.
Yeah.
I would like them to apply for it. I will do just how can I say this? We don't want anything for it.
Yeah.
I really want to support young people talking to elders on the radio and having education and hearing it live.
I think we can make that work. Even the project that's in the hoppers right now is an elder that wants to do some recording and some share some stories. So I definitely keep that in mind, Cameron. And we were talking, where does that get stored? Where is that digital file stored? And so we were still just discussing. Each nation has a different archival system. But also this particular elder wanted it to be shared more broadly.
Right. Well, I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that idea, Cameron. That idea is also applicable to our community-based grants.
Okay.
Youth and education, arts and culture, as well as community development. That idea could fit. So you as a Tuff City Radio could apply now. The CRA changed our granting rules, so we can grant out to what we call non-qualified donees. So not an education institution, municipality, or a nation. We can grant to other organizations. So it's all about the idea and the connections.
I really think too, when people come to the West Coast, almost 1.2 million people at times through the park, and what we share all of that glory of all those people coming to see this unbelievable territory. It's just respectful that they might be able to learn a bit of the language, and I think that might encourage young people to continue to speak it more. There's a lot of great stories about how in Hawaii that the radio helped to sustain and even help grow the language. So I'd love to be a part of that in whatever way we can. So.
I think you've got an idea brewing, and great call. Yeah, we're just learning all the new CRA guidelines, and we're really open to it. We are like one of the leading community foundations on the island. Many are still slowly just seeing how they go. We're kind of jumping in with both feet, and we've wanted to support our community as much as we could. So
you know what? I know that you do, and I think most folks know that you do. It really is just a great organization, and everybody there has done such a great job. And do you want to do a little shout out, just to say all the other great people who work there, whether it's Michelle?
Well, most of our team is at a Biosphere gathering right now over in Squamish, so they won't hear. But we could give a shout out to Michelle and Nellie. Is that who's home? Yeah.
All right. That's great. Yeah. Michelle was in here last week, and when she offered to name her firstborn, do you want to talk anything about the building or process, or we kind of have, like, we're still waiting with bated breath to find out when those grants come in?
I don't want to talk about building, but I'll throw a shout out to Michelle Hall. She got a grant from the Coastal Community Credit Union for a youth program. So a Biosphere Reserve education program. So we're trying to get our youth out learning from all the awesome people doing awesome things in the area, as well as to get them out of the classroom and into a rainforest or into a mud flat learning. So she secured what we're going to call a pilot project for a youth program.
Amazing.
This year. Yeah, that's new.
She's on it.
Yeah. She's doing great work.
Yeah. Let's tell people right now, just while we're in conversation, how can they get a hold of you? How can they apply for any of these grants? If they have a question that maybe I didn't ask or wasn't answered, how can they get a hold of you to communicate?
Yeah, so for getting a hold of me, this is Brooke. I'm leading the Nuu-chah-nulth language grants. I want to give a shout out to, we just hired a literacy coordinator, Justice Manson. She's amazing. So you can reach out to either her or I, or community development grants. And one thing we just want to let everyone know, our Vital Grants was open until February 23rd, and that is currently closed, but we did receive numerous applications for that one. So my email is brooke@clayoquot.biospheretrust.org, or you can give me a call.
No
trust.
No trust. Sorry.
Say it again.
But you can trust me. brooke@clayoquot.biosphere.org.
Okay, I'm going to play one song, and then I'm going to make sure that we've covered all the bases, and we'll be right back. This is a great conversation. I love it, and a great organization. We are sitting here talking with Jason Sam, the program coordinator, and Brooke Wood, the manager of community initiatives with the Biosphere Trust. What is brewing in the Biosphere? Let's talk about LVI, Leadership, Vancouver Island.
Yeah, so it's a program that we've been running on the coast here since 2012. It's supported lots of different leaders in all of our communities over these years, and it is a recruitment year. So the program is starting in September 2024. So if you haven't heard of it, we will be hosting information sessions. We'll be available to chat one-on-one. Our board members will be reaching out to you. And, if you know someone that works in your organization or just a really go-getter nonprofit that you think could use some leadership training, tell them to reach out. You do get 6 credits from VIU. They're elective credits, and so they can help you again in your leadership journey.
Do you have to be a student? Do you have to be engaged in an education format?
You do not. Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so just reach out. We've, I think we're at over 90 local participants have taken part in the program now.
And what is the main intention? To teach leadership skills for groups, specifically for nonprofits, or?
No, it's called leading self and leading community and then leading others is sort of the goal. And so really, initially when the program started, it was Gord Johns when he was in his chamber role, and Tammy Dorward and Rebecca Hurwitz and Kathy Thick and Iris Frank. Everyone sort of got together and wanted to have some continuing education on the coast, and wanted the communities to work together. And so really you visit each of the 10 communities on the coast throughout the program. And so you learn the leadership styles in each of the communities and get a better understanding of working together in collaboration. And then you also work on yourself and you work on a community project.
This sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
Jason, did you do this?
Yeah, I was a participant in the last round of LVI. And as Brooke said, it's kind of like the 3-avenue: leading self, leading others, then leading community. And it really gives you the skills to look at yourself when it comes to leadership and gather new skills. So that was a big focus for me, for sure.
How was looking at yourself?
I've seen a lot of holes in my basketball leadership, that's for sure. Things I could have did better. A lot of self-reflection, which is great because I was also in a leadership role as surf rider, which it gave me new skills and new ways to think about myself, as well as to think about how to engage with others.
So you would recommend that it would be of benefit to anybody who's seeking to expand their internal wisdom as well as how they share it with others.
Yeah, as well as to network. Networking is huge in the area, right? Such great people doing great things, but if you don't know how you could work together, it becomes harder to make things happen.
I'm very excited by that. Sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering that question. I put you on the spot a little bit. This is great. Is there a cost for people to do this, or is it a full bursary?
No, it's a paid program. So, over the years we've had sponsors. So Ocean Village has generally supported a staff, Long Beach Lodge, the chambers, the districts, Ucluelet government. So the program is $2,000. And generally the sponsor pays $1,800 and the student pays $200 is how it's worked.
Right.
We do have some scholarships available, but it's on a year-by-year basis, depending on if we've had a donation or those kind of things. But we always try and get you in if you're interested.
What's the time commitment and how many spots are available?
It is a 10-month program, but it's 1 day a month, and there is homework in between that. And how many spots are available?
Yeah.
25.
And do they all occur simultaneously? So you would meet with your cohort of these 25 and do the same things together? Is that how that works?
You got it. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would definitely throw the recommendation out there if you want to build on yourself. You were mentioning earlier that public speaking is one of the most feared things. And that is a big portion of it, is to learn how to publicly speak. And they hire professionals to come in and help with that. So out of the $2,000, you're getting professional help with this stuff. And,
wow.
and I've seen growth from the quietest gentleman there at the beginning, who admitted it, that he was shy and had a hard time speaking. At the end, he gave the best speech, because you give a speech at the end and to everybody.
Wow.
He nailed it, as well as another female in there that had a hard time with public speaking. By the end of the program, she nailed it.
Amazing. Is there any age limit?
Currently, you do have to be over 18.
Okay.
Yeah, but often we've had people that are 19 right up to 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, any age is welcome.
That's great. We've covered a lot of bases today. So if anybody has a question, or maybe you would like to have something reiterated, I will be putting this interview up on Facebook. And let's tell them one more time how they can get a hold of you, whether it's to learn more about the grants, to talk to you in person if they have a question about application, or if they have an idea that they just want to share with you.
Great. The basic one is either grants@clayoquotbiosphere.org for email, or info@clayoquotbiosphere.org. You can come by the office. And really, once you connect with one of us, any one of us, that we'll also help make the right connections within our organization. So mine is jason@clayoquotbiosphere.org, and mine would be for the education awards, which are scholarships, the youth in education and arts and culture funding, as well as any tech support.
Cool. And how about you?
Yep, the same thing. I feel like I got to get my email right this time. So
Yeah.
brooke@clayoquotbiosphere.org.
I trust that that's accurate.
I hope so.
All right. I appreciate you both making time. There is a ton of stuff brewing in the biosphere, and you're always welcome to come back and let us know, because I want people to make sure that they take advantage of these awesome initiatives and opportunities and grants, as well as you're just fun to work with. So learning and growing with the biosphere.
Thanks for having us, Cameron. Really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.